Morning again, year 4, and here we go with our maths. We are going to continue on from our short multiplication method yesterday. It's really important that if you are still struggling with that a little bit, to carry on practicing your 2-digit numbers by your 1-digit number, because the 2-digit multiplied by 2-digit gets a bit trickier today with the magic 0, and it's absolutely fine if you would like to just spend your time today practicing these ones instead of the 2-digit by 2-digit. Let's do the first example together again, and the first couple of questions you have are 2-digit by 1-digit. So I would actually suggest you checking your answers then, and if you've got them correct, look back at this video for the explanation of 2-digit by 2-digit. If not, keep practicing 2 by 1 or 3 by 1. Let's just move this out of the way a little bit. So 39 multiplied by 4. Think about how you would lay that out. I've got 3 10s and 9 1s and then 4 1s. So my 4 also needs to be in my 1s column. So 9 multiplied by 4, excuse me, is 36. So we have 6 1s and we need to carry over our 3 10s. And that should look something like this. 6 1s, 3 10s. We can now move over to 3 times 4, which is 30 times 4. And that is 12. But instead of putting 12, I need to add the 3 10s that I carried over. So I should have 15. And I can just put my 1 here instead of carrying it because there's no number for it to go on top of. So 39 multiplied by 4 equals 156. Some of you may have used a mental strategy and done 40 multiplied by 4 and then subtracted one lot of 4, which is amazing. But remember today, again, we're focusing purely on the short multiplication method. So today's learning is all based on the next 5 minutes of me explaining 2-digit by 2-digit. So really be focusing here. Think about how you would lay this out. 26 times 15. Hopefully, it would look something like this. We are going to pretend that the 1 isn't even there at the moment because it's not important to us. We're just going to start the question by doing exactly the same as what we did here. So we did 9 times 4 and then 3 times 4. We are going to do 6 times 5 and then 2 times 5. So step 1, 6 times 5 equals 30. So I've got 0 1s and I carry over my 3 10s. Same as up here. 2 times 5 equals 10 plus my 3 gives me 13. So my 3 will go here, and instead of carrying a 1, I can just put it to the side of it. That's the first stage complete, and that's exactly the same as what we've just done for 2-digit by 1-digit. And I've ticked off my 5 because I've done 6 times 5 and I've done 2 times 5. I don't need to worry about that anymore. Stage 2, really, really important part, and it only requires you to put in one thing and one thing only. Hopefully some of you are thinking, magic 0. Okay, and that's because instead of us doing 6 times 5 and 20 times 5, I'm now technically doing 6 times 10 and 20 times 10. And we know that when we multiply a whole number by 10, the answer will end in a 0. So we're putting that in already. So stage 2, put your magic 0 in. Okay, final stage. We are now going to do 6 times 1 and then 2 times 1. So 6 times 1 is 6 and 2 times 1 is 2. And sorry, I'm not sure I said stage 3 was the final stage. Final stage now, as you can see, we've got our addition sign. We need to find the sum of our two answers. So 0 plus 0 is 0, believe it or not. 3 plus 6 is 9. 1 plus 2 is 3. So 26 times 15 is 390. Let's try this one together again. Maybe see if you can be writing it down as we're going along. So 45 times 26. We'll lay that out like so. We need to do stage 1, 5 times 6, 4 times 6. 5 times 6 is 30, so I've got 0 ones, 3 tens. I'm going to carry 4 times 6. If you're not too sure, do 2 times 6 and then double it. So 2 times 6 is 12, double that is 24. 4 times 6, 24. But I need to add my 3 tens that I carried over. So 24 plus 3 is 27. And I can tick off my 6 because I've done 5 times 6 and 4 times 6. I can forget about that now. Stage 2, something we cannot forget. Magic 0. Well done if you remembered that. And then stage 3, we know we need to do now 5 times 2 and 4 times 2. So 5 times 2 is 10. So 0, carry my 1, and I've carried it here now. And then 4 times 2 is 8. Why have I got a 9? That's right, because I've had to add on my 1 that I've carried over. And then your final stage is to add up your 2 rows of answers. So 0 plus 0 is 0, 7 plus 0 is 7, 2 plus 9 is 11. Again, we could have carried our 1 over here, but there's nothing to carry it to, so we might as well just put 11. So 45 multiplied by 26 is 1,170. Well done if you got that correct as you were going along. Like I say, try the first couple of questions on the PowerPoint that I'm getting up here. There's your date and LI. Then check. If you haven't got those correct, don't move on to the 2-digit by 2-digit. Just carry on practicing those for today's lesson. Make up some of your own. Any numbers work, just 2-digit by 1-digit. If you have got those correct, move on to our 2-digit by 2-digit. So here are your first bunch of questions. Try 65 times 3, try 85 times 9, and check your answers. Okay? Eventually, we get to a Challenge X question here, 143 multiplied by 36. I'm excited to see who gets that correct. Okay, I'm now going to put your answers on. So make sure you've paused. Excuse me, make sure you've paused your slide, your video. There are your answers. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 word problems. Please, and this goes to parents at home as well, if it has taken you the majority of the lesson to do these questions, just do one of these next word problems. You don't have to do all 4. It's hard for me to differentiate for 30 people when I'm doing this remote learning. So you push yourself and you challenge yourself as much as you can within your hour lesson. Okay, you don't need to do an hour and a half just because you haven't done all of the questions. Just try your best and focus as much as you can, see what you can get through and get correct. Okay, so your first reasoning question is here. Remember, product means the answer of numbers multiplied together. So the product of 5 and 2 would be 10, because 5 times 2 is 10. The product of 3 and 6 would be 18, because 3 times 6 is 18. Here you need to think about the the missing digits. And this is one that quite commonly comes up. I know SATs is ages and ages away, but these sort of questions, these mastery questions, really get you thinking, and you'll see a lot of those questions in sort of 11 plus or SAT. So it's good to get used to these, okay? Something times 6 ends in 2. Think about that carefully. And remember when you're doing it to carry over whatever you would normally carry over. Third one, Chris saves 50 pence coins and he saved 45 of them. So how much money has he saved? That's just a simple, put it in an equation there. And then finally, a box contains trays of lemons. And there are 15 melons in a tray and 3 trays in a box. Think about what calculation you need to do there. Read that carefully. And then the second part to the question, a supermarket sells 40 boxes of melons. So how many melons does the supermarket sell? And then pause your screen here, and I'm just going to put your answers up on the next slide. I'm not going to talk through them. I'm just going to leave them there. Please email me if you have any questions. I've put it in pennies and in pounds here. So lots of knowledge to build on today. Do your best, keep resilient, keep enjoying your maths work, and I will see you for English and SPAG.